I'm a mom of three, nothing. So,
Sorry.
That's perfect. Oh, no, actually go that. And then I'll have chief focus next to you and then Trina.
I've never been in a state like that. So, everyone does. Chief, this is yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to introduce you. Mayor.
Todd Griffin at the Retail
Hey, Todd.
Federation.
How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Appreciate it.
I'm coming straight from snow activity, so
I understand.
hence my different dress than everybody else.
I had to learn how to work the app. So it was not don't do that.
Just want to give you guys a mic check. Everybody good? Okay. Run switch. Wave. Mark Lamparetta. Okay. HAS. You guys, Richard? Okay. Gentlemen, we're ready.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Todd Griffin, president of the Kentucky Retail Federation. The Retail Federation represents thousands of retailers of all types and sizes across the Commonwealth, and I'm pleased to be here today. Thank you for joining us on this snowy day for a timely discussion regarding the critical issue of combating organized retail crime. We are grateful to Walmart Supercenter Middletown for hosting us in the middle of this busy holiday shopping season. I'd also like to thank Attorney General Russell Coleman and his team, Representative Jared Bauman, Mayor Craig Greenberg, Chief Barry Wilkinson, Commonwealth's Attorney Jarena Weathers, and Amy Luttrell of Goodwill, as well as our great retailers statewide, for their strong partnership in this endeavor. The issue we are discussing today, organized retail crime, is a significant and growing problem here in Kentucky and nationwide. Organized retail crime involves large-scale theft and fraud efforts by sophisticated networks designed to steal from retailers and defraud customers. It can take the form of a wide range of activities, including shoplifting for resale, cargo theft, gift card tampering and barcode fraud, return fraud, and identity theft. Organized retail crime has significant impacts on all Kentuckians, endangering public safety and leading to higher consumer prices, job losses, store closures, and reduced tax revenue. Studies show that Kentucky retailers lose an outstanding $2 billion in total revenue due to theft each year. And last year saw a troubling 30% increase in organized retail crime. That's why the Kentucky Retail Federation is excited to collaborate with legislators during the 2026 General Assembly to establish a much-needed organized retail crime task force. This specialized unit of law enforcement is designed to combat large-scale retail theft and fraud through collaboration between local, state, and federal agencies, as well as retailers and online marketplaces. They are established to address the unique multi-jurisdictional nature of organized retail crime. ORC task forces, which have been established in states like Arizona, California, Illinois, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, have achieved significant results, successfully prosecuting offenders while recovering millions of dollars in retail goods. We look forward to adding Kentucky to the list of states that are stepping up to protect our retailers, consumers, and communities. During the busy holiday shopping season and year-round, we want to ensure that the Commonwealth is fully equipped to defeat the growing threat of organized retail crime for the sake of all Kentuckians. Thank you, and now I'd like to introduce Nathan Smith with Walmart to make a few remarks.
Well, thank you all for being here today. My name's Nathan Smith. I have the honor of working at Walmart and the honor of being here today. I'm on a team that focuses on organized retail crime and our important partnership with law enforcement and prosecutors around the country. I have the honor today of introducing Attorney General Russell Coleman, who's going to share some remarks, who put this event together and is committed to partnering with all retailers to stand up for the right of communities to have access to safe and affordable goods and services. Attorney General Coleman is a former United States attorney and is currently serving as the 52nd Attorney General of the state of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I forget where I am, the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And so we're just honored to have you, General Coleman, and glad you're here today. Thank you so much.
Nathan, thank you. We're delighted to have you here from Bentonville. It wasn't mentioned, Mr. Smith is the general counsel of Walmart. We sat with executives from Walmart, law enforcement, federal, state, and local representatives of the mayor's office. My colleague, our fine Commonwealth attorney here in Jefferson County, Ms. Weathers, our United States attorney. We sat in a room just a few feet from where we are in this dynamic front of the house here in Walmart to talk about what's next in collaborating, in zealous collaborating, to fight a threat. Look, this is a time of light, a time of great economic activity. Should be the most wonderful time of the year, but criminals are making this a real challenging time of the year for retailers. If there are two data points you take from this interaction, we're not talking about shoplifting. This ain't about shoplifting. What we're talking about is organized crime. What we're talking about is violence. We're talking about violence to our families as we come in stores, violence to employees of great stores like this, violence to law enforcement as they intervene. What we're talking about is higher prices for all of us. And what we're talking about is closed stores in areas not only of Louisville, but around the Commonwealth. We're fighting organized crime. You know, the components, gift card fraud, cargo theft, major identity fraud. It's very easy as Kentuckians to think this happens elsewhere. This is a challenge on the coast. This is happening in Miami. The reality is it's happening right here in the Commonwealth. We had a 30%, 30, I want to foot stomp those numbers, 30% increase in this activity in the Commonwealth last year. As the Attorney General of this Commonwealth, it concerns me greatly. You add meat to the bones, we're talking about $2 billion economic impact. $2 billion. This is a problem. It's a problem for me as the chief law enforcement officer. It's a problem for our Commonwealth attorneys. It's a problem with the mayor of this town that's concerned about public safety and economic activity. And clearly it's a problem for these brave men and women who are standing on my left and my right, the men and women of law enforcement. So it's one thing to talk about the problem from a podium like this, but it's important to us that it's not just happy talk. It's important to us that we talk about how do we mitigate it? And how we mitigate it is zealous collaboration. How we mitigate it is we tear down silos. How we mitigate it is the Office of the Attorney General, working with our private sector, comes alongside our Commonwealth's attorneys, our county attorneys, our chief federal prosecutor here, the U.S. Attorney, with this new unit that we are proposing. Now, earlier this year, I started the foundations of this. I hired a gentleman, a detective in our Department of Criminal Investigations, DCI. I would argue it's the most important acronym you may not have heard of. DCI is the investigative capacity of the Attorney General's office. It's our law enforcement arm. I hired a senior, well-respected law enforcement officer, former assistant chief in Bowling Green, to start working these cases, to start being the connective tissue where we're seeing this criminal activity. Our office has secured indictments already in a pair of matters out of New York City involving fabricated coupon codes. We've also worked with a case involving large-scale construction theft to the tune of $135,000. Again, we're not talking about shoplifting here. We're talking about major amounts of loss. Now, while I'm standing here alone for a moment, we're not talking about working these cases alone. None of us rose alone. It's about zealous collaboration. Our DCI is collaborating with our law enforcement partners because the scale of the threat demands that we operate differently. This is what 21st century policing looks like. It's better collaboration using technology. And so during this next legislative session, gaveling in January, we're asking the General Assembly to invest $2 million in our new organized retail crime unit. This will involve hiring 3 more detectives. This will involve 2 investigative analysts to help us connect the dots of all of the data involved in these major investigations, as well as a resource prosecutor to work with our federal, state, and local partners. With the support of our General Assembly, we have seen a General Assembly who focuses on public safety. In a moment, I'm going to introduce the gentleman who was the pen and the force behind House Bill 5. What we're talking about here is how we operationalize an important portion of House Bill 5 to add teeth, add meat to the bones, if you will. If they give us the resources, we'll be the muscle to help get this done working with our partners. Now, creating this unit will help us. It'll help us go from door to door. It'll help us keep businesses open. But most importantly, this is about deterrence. This is about telling criminals you need to move up or down I-65. This is about staying out of the Commonwealth. This is about demonstrating that this, our Commonwealth, is a denied zone. With all due respect to my colleagues and friends in Ohio and Tennessee and down the road in Nashville, this is about keeping this criminal activity, this violence, these closed stores, and these higher prices, keeping them out of the Commonwealth. So thank you. Thank you for our partners. Thank you for the time, the hospitality here today at Walmart. Thank you for these men and women of law enforcement that are going to be out there tonight when we're sleep comfortable in our beds running calls. And thank you for the corporate partners that are rowing with us today. So with that, it's a real honor for me to introduce the force behind House Bill 5, our partner in public safety here in Louisville and across the Commonwealth, Louisville's own Representative Jared Bauman.
Good afternoon. My name is Jared Bauman, and I'm delighted to see you today and be here with all of you as we discuss matters of the law that are very important to me and my community, and that is organized retail crime. I represent House District 28 in Southwest Jefferson County, and I deeply believe that safe communities provide the critical foundation for thriving communities here in Louisville and across our great Commonwealth. First, I want to thank General Coleman for his support of an organized retail crime task force and for his tireless efforts to make our Kentucky community safer. General Coleman, thank you, sir. While serving in the General Assembly, I've worked to implement policies which strengthen safety, security, and protection for communities across the Commonwealth. As an advocate for reducing crime, I recognize that organized retail crime is not just simply shoplifting that we have seen become normalized today. It is not a victimless crime. It preys on consumers and retailers alike, as well as those caught in the grips of addiction. It preys on entire communities, and businesses take on huge losses and are forced to close, driving up the prices of goods and driving down the quality of life in our communities. I've seen this exact scenario play out 1 mile from my home in PRP as a major box store had to close several years ago due to rampant organized retail theft. And research shows that the proceeds of this organized retail crime often goes to fund other criminal activities, such as human trafficking. And incidents of organized retail theft are becoming more and more violent, jeopardizing the safety of both employees and consumers. An organized retail crime task force led by the Office of the Attorney General will maximize collaboration among retailers, law enforcement officials, prosecutors, and community support organizations to stop criminal theft rings from operating here in Kentucky. For the 2026 legislative session, I am proud to advocate for the $2 million to fund this organized crime task force. Several states nationwide are already using this model to reduce organized retail crime, and I am proud to work with my colleagues in the General Assembly and General Coleman to bring this to Kentucky. The General Assembly has demonstrated our commitment to public safety, security, and protection. The General Assembly has made several policy changes to strengthen laws on retail theft, including allowing for the aggregation of theft charges over a 12-month period, allowing for prosecutions across multiple jurisdictions that we saw in House Bill 5, the Safer Kentucky Act, and making gift card fraud a felony offense at any stage of the crime. So you see, the time to fund an organized retail task force here in Kentucky is now, employing strategic investigators and data analysts who can work jointly to send our clear message that Kentucky is open for business, but Kentucky is closed for crime. Thank you, General Coleman, and to all the other leaders here with us today. It is now my distinct privilege to introduce to you our Mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Representative, and thank you, Attorney General Coleman, for bringing us together. Even on a snowy day like today, when the snow does not stop all these great Louisvillians from shopping before this weekend, shopping for the holidays, it also doesn't stop organized retail crime and criminals that are hard at work regardless of the weather conditions. And so I wanted to make sure that I was here along with others from Louisville Metro government to support what Attorney General Coleman is doing in bringing together people in collaboration to crack down and prevent organized retail crime. As General Coleman mentioned, these activities are dangerous to our community. They're raising prices and they're closing stores, making goods like we are here today inaccessible to new neighborhoods. And public safety, improving public safety and reducing crime is my number one priority. And what we've seen is through collaboration, we can make a big difference. We have a violent crime reduction team that is collaborating well with folks like Attorney General Coleman, our Commonwealth Attorney, Jarena Weathers, our County Attorney, Mike O'Connell, LMPD, our Circuit Court Clerk, and so many others, and we're seeing progress. We're collaborating with the Jefferson County Sheriff, David James, and his team as they can add more resources to prevent crime from happening on the streets before it does. We have seen time and time again that collaboration works to prevent crime, and we want to make sure that we are a part of this to crack down on organized retail crime. Our LMPD detectives are part of this effort, and having strong, proactive relationships will continue to improve the work that's being done. Collaborating also with major retailers to create open lines of communication so we can respond quickly, so that when there is information to be had from surveillance video, and give us patterns and more information to stop this from happening. LMPD will continue to be a proud partner of this effort. We all know that we need to do more, and so forming this group is one of the ways that we can make Louisville a safer city. And it's not just LMPD, it's not just the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, but it's other law enforcement from around Jefferson County and around the Commonwealth as well. And I'm pleased to represent one of those additional partners that's part of this comprehensive county-wide and statewide effort, and that is the Chief of Police of St. Matthews Police Department, Barry Wilkerson, who is also here with us today. Chief?
Just here to give a little perspective on the 37 years of law enforcement, all spent in the Louisville metro area here. Just give a perspective on shoplifting, where we were before and where we've become. Early in my career, shoplifting was more of a crime of opportunity. If you caught a juvenile, most of the time you could call their parents and they would get more, discipline from their parents than you would from the court system. Adults would primarily steal small items. They weren't as violent and generally working alone. They had fewer resale opportunities at that point to offload the merchandise that they took. Police and stores worked together to make arrests. Moving forward to the middle of my career, shoplifting was more drug-fueled. Juveniles became younger, more aggressive, and harder to locate their parents. Adults were supporting their habit, also more aggressive due to the drug use. But at that time, we started to see an increase, or actually the start of organized retail crime, due generally to internet advancement and resale items online. Fast forward to today, we're much more advanced organized retail shoplifting. Juveniles and adults are much more aggressive, sometimes carrying firearms. Juveniles, in many cases, were unable to even locate their parents to actually get them back, and we have to find ways to actually get them into the system. Adults use the organized retail crime at this point as the means and source of their income, sometimes even using juveniles to advance that for themselves. And there's a robust online resale ecosystem now at this point where they can offload that merchandise. So ultimately, this is a major economic and safety issue and concern for our community. We as a community are actually paying that price, and that needs to stop. I can tell you in St. Matthews alone, we have made arrests with Chinese nationals who had a huge gift card scheme through areas of our city and other retailers, major retailers that carry gift cards. Just this past Wednesday, we made an arrest of 4 individuals, 1 juvenile, that were crossing over into Indiana and different state lines of organized crime in certain retail areas there. I can tell you as the chief of St. Matthews, and an area that is hugely impacted by retail theft, I am very grateful for this collaboration through all these individuals, our other partners in law enforcement, obviously our other prosecutorial agencies who help push these cases through, especially General Coleman, who has spearheaded this, and our representatives who actually take the time and listen to our concerns to address these issues. This will make, if we become proactive and we become aggressive, this will make a huge impact on our community. So I thank you for this collaboration. With that, I'd like to introduce Commonwealth Attorney Jarena Weathers.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, we want to just thank again General Coleman for putting this together. Thank you, Representative Ballman. Thank you for Mr. Smith here at Walmart, and of course, Mayor and Chief Wilkerson. I will share with you that we have talked about this before, how important collaboration is. We know that that word can be overused. We've heard it before over and over again. But let me share with you this. As long as I have been here in this office, it has been an absolute pleasure to be able to work with the people, not only around us, but our wonderful law enforcement that puts their lives on the line every day to make sure that we need what we need in our communities. So collaboration is a very strategic, it's a very intentional step as we move forward. We've got people all over the country that is doing whatever they want to do to hurt our people, to hurt our communities, to hurt our cities. So the way we do that and the way we combat that is that we have to work together. So there are 57 of us Commonwealth attorneys here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We work every day, we deal with shoplifting, but of course you've heard that it's more of organized crime that we are dealing with. It's going to take our legislatures, it's going to take our federal partners, it's going to take our state partners to really make a move. You've heard also today about the importance of what it looks like when we start closing down our stores. Ladies and gentlemen, if you live in this city, it is imperative that we are able to work together to stop that from happening. You're talking about our seniors who are now not able to walk to a store because it's not there. You're talking about our children. You're talking about our single mothers that can't come together and they have to work every day to find a place to do this. That's how serious organized retail crime is. So it is our responsibility to not only follow the law and execute the laws, but we have to work together to be able to do this. That is the best thing about working with the Attorney General. That's the best thing about working with the U.S. Attorney, because if we can't get what we need here, as far as the time that we need for people to be in prison, we can get it somewhere else. And that is our responsibility. So I want to thank you all today, but I want you all to really hold us accountable. Check back with us so we can see, because Attorney General Coleman is not here just to be here. We're not here just to be here. We have chosen this work, and we are very, very serious as it relates to organized retail crime. Thank you.
As usual, I feel underdressed and less eloquent when I come to the podium after Ms. Weathers. Look, the term shoplifting is not what we're here to discuss. It is violence to law enforcement, violence in wonderful stores like this. It is the closure of stores and the gutting of communities driven by this organized criminal activity. And it is rising prices, which we've all seen driven by this criminal activity. 30% increase in organized retail crime in our Commonwealth last year, $2 billion with a B, $2 billion of impact. So with that, any questions that my colleagues and I can entertain?
If there's no questions, we're going to invite our media partners to stick around with Walmart. We'll get some funerals, we'll get some shoot bridges. So, final, any questions today?
Sir. This is group driven. The term organized retail crime on its face, this is group driven syndicate type activity. I thought it was fascinating to hear from the chief a moment ago, this progression from youth shoplifting to dope driven theft to what we're seeing now. And what we're seeing now is, I would describe it, we're seeing it whether we're investigating exploitation of kids, whether we're seeing this and its impact on kids' brains, or whether we're seeing this and how technology is allowing the sale and theft in an organized way. What we're seeing right now in law enforcement, it's like every bad science fiction movie we saw growing up is coming true. That's the nature of criminal activity. That's policing in the 21st century. And so, yes, it is group driven. It is group driven. It is, of course, profit driven, and it is technology. That's the interconnective tissue. What we want to be, we want this unit to be in the Attorney General's office, is connective tissue between our partners. What we want to be is the opportunity to come alongside all this great work that's happening now, oftentimes in silos and individual jurisdictions. The Constitution gives us the ability to be connective tissue. We want to come alongside this work that's occurring now. We want deterrence. We want Kentucky to be a denied area for this kind of activity, and we are committed. The legislature, our private sector colleagues, our law enforcement colleagues, and the Attorney General's office, we are committed to making Kentucky a denied area for this kind of conduct. So with that, appreciate the questions. Appreciate you all being here. One more.
Yeah, just want to, you guys talk about collaboration. You have, politicians, you've got law enforcement, you've got private sector. At what point, where does the community come in?
Well, at a certain point, the community, so much of policing is driven by information from the community. So much of what we do is because the community shares what's going on. We are the community. We don't operate distinct from the community. I appreciate the notion of that question, but we are the community. And so this is to protect the people coming in those doors. It's to protect the law enforcement responding. It's to protect the men and women who work in stores like this. These stores, Walmart's almost 3% of GDP. They are the community. They were the center of my small town in West Kentucky. So I would say you're looking at the community right here. With that, Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming. Great job, Jeremy. Hey, thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.